Welcome back to the Slide Podcast Show, everyone. I'm your host, Coach Aaron, and we got a super exciting show tonight. Actually, a hometown hero is what I'm going to call him. And so super excited about that. And joining me tonight is Miss Mic Check Mariah. How are you doing, ma'am?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Last time that we had you on the show, obviously we heard about, the situation that happened in at the BFA tournament. You had a concussion. How's that going?
It's going good. My symptoms have definitely gone down. I'm recovering fast, but there's still a lot of things I need to work on. I'm not cleared to play yet, which I'm disappointed. And I definitely do get frustrated because I'm not able to go out there and play with my friends and go out on the field. Mm-hmm. But the season has not started yet, so I have to pass one of my tests to be able to play. It's just to make sure I'm all clear. And if I pass that, I'm going to be able to play. So hopefully I recover soon. I'm just trying my best doing all my exercises I need to be doing every day. But yeah.
I know that can't be fun, but look, concussion, head injury, you don't want to rush that stuff. So, yeah. And I know your mom and doctors, and you know that very well as well, but let everything all about concussions. So Mr. Tua Tagovailoa scared us all several times when he got some concussions. So yeah, take care of that stuff. But so school started back for you yet?
Yes, it did. 4 weeks ago.
What? Well, I guess that's about right.
We're already halfway done with our quarter, so I think it's 3 weeks we go on break for 2 weeks, so it's going back pretty good actually.
Wow, already. So we started back I think 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. But wow, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
How was school?
It's been pretty good. I have not gone to sports after school yet, which I'm pretty upset because I haven't had time to spend time with my friends and go train. But it's going pretty good.
Awesome. You got some good teachers?
Yeah. Well, same teachers as last year because we have a small school, so.
Oh, okay. So no bad teachers, nobody you want to throw on blast for giving you too much homework or anything, right?
No.
All right. I keep asking kids, you got any teachers we need to put on blast? Now, a couple seasons ago, Banana Jake, he talked about one of his teachers, but he's the only one that was brave enough to put somebody out there. Because I'm like, what teachers do you have giving you homework after the first week of school? And he just let us have it. So, but good. I'm glad to hear that. My son's school started back. He's now playing in his first, I would say, real tackle football season. And it's exciting. I'm excited. Now, when you get back into your playing, you're on the softball team, right, for your school, or are you on baseball team?
We don't have sports at our school.
What kind of school are you going to?
Well, because, we get out at 12:30 every day, and then our bus takes us to our after-school program, so, I go to baseball training, some people go to dance or gymnastics, so that's why we don't have a sport. We just go and train.
Gotcha. Okay. That's pretty cool. I think Hollywood, Dylan, I think he goes to something similar to that as well out in Arizona. So we don't have anything like that over here, at least as far as I know of. But maybe our guest today will enlighten me and tell me about something since he's from the same area I am. So, Mariah, we got Field of Dreams event coming up. And you're going to be there with us along with, I think, 7, 8, maybe even 10 of our field reporters are making the trip out in the middle of nowhere in the cornfields. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I've never been, but I'm excited to hop out of the cornfields.
Me too. Yeah, I've never been either, and it's definitely a bucket list trip for me. Just to get to see everything, and then to raise the bar even higher, we get to get on that MLB stadium field that the Phillies and the Twins played at, and I'm excited. That's excited. And the big names that we've got coming. I mean, obviously we got amazing baseball trainers. Field of Dreams is going to be awesome. Eric Sim, Josh Cathcart, Nate Weber, Drew Richards, Rachel Garcia, Jersey Nuttall, Sophie Nugent, Cole. Good tough camera. His good tough production team's going to be there. We got the blitz ball guys coming, and this home run derby is going to be off the chain.
It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, I don't think anybody says off the chain anymore, but I'm old, so I'm gonna keep throwing that out there. So you said
Yeah,
lit. Do
lit.
people still say lit?
Well, it's like the glowing lights too, so it's gonna be like lit.
Oh, I see what you did there. All right. Okay. You're exactly right. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So,
lit.
all right. Well, we're going to spin off of that comment right there and introduce our guest tonight. So, joining us from Ogden, Utah, native of South Carolina. I think he's probably about 30 minutes, 30 miles from my house. This young man grew up. Mr. Jay Jackson, how you doing, sir?
I'm fantastic, Coach Aaron. Mariah, how are you doing? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys for having me once again. I appreciate it.
Doing good.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, here's the run of how we do it with a new guest on the show. Give us about a 35, 45 second spiel of who you are and what you're on the show to talk about. And then the last question that we need from you is, what's your favorite cereal, Jay?
Ooh, okay. Okay, that's a tough
Mm-hmm.
one, but a good one. I'm gonna say 30 seconds. Name's Jay Jackson from Greenville, South Carolina. Spent 17 years playing baseball professionally. Just retired in 2025. Got to coach a little bit, but now I'm on here to talk about my new venture, which is called the Smile Zone, which is a curriculum baseball centric to help players and athletes, hopefully coaches and parents also build a community, but the curriculum's there to make sure that our players and our kids are better off the field to play better on the field. So that's what I'm about to do now and talk about. But favorite cereal, I would say it has to be right now, since I'm old, it's got to be Special K Red Berries. But when I was younger, I would have to go either Tricks or I would say
Ooh,
Captain Crunch All Crunch Berries. Oops, all berries, yeah. Or
okay.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Those three. I would mix them.
I get down with everything at Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's just never been my cup of tea, but it is
I
very popular around the country, we have decided.
I love cinnamon toast crunch, and Captain Crunch, but as long as we don't say fruity pebbles, we're good.
See,
What's wrong with
everybody
Fruity
hates on me,
Pebbles though? Like,
Jay,
what's wrong with the Fruity
because
Pebbles
that's
though?
my
They're
favorite.
sweet.
Listen, all the
Yeah, but
kids
see,
give me
Tricks are the
grief because I
same.
like Fruity Pebbles.
But Tricks is the
It
same,
is,
right?
but you know
Like
what?
Tricks is I think a little crunchier,
We
has a
don't.
little bit more corn to it.
It
Yeah.
lasts a little bit longer. Like you have to eat Fruity Pebbles in a hurry because it gets
Yeah,
soggy really quick. So like
100%.
you kind of got to eat that with the quickness. So well, cool. Well, Jay, all right, you said something there at the beginning. We got to make sure we expand on here, and that's you're a professional. You were a professional player. You played in the MLB. Man, tell us about that.
Yeah, so got drafted in 2008, spent 8 long years in the minors, grinding around, hanging out, trying to make it to the big leagues. Finally made my debut in 2015 with the San Diego Padres, not the team I got drafted by. I actually got drafted by the Chicago Cubs, but ended up getting seen and debuting with the San Diego Padres in 2015. And then from there, I actually left and went to Japan for 3 years. So I went to Japan for 3 years, came
Wow.
back, and then I was in the big leagues again with the Milwaukee Brewers in 2019. And then COVID happened. I went back to Japan, came back home, and I was at the alt site with the Cincinnati Reds in 2020. But then 2021, I was in the big leagues with the Giants. 2022, I was in the big leagues with the Braves. 2023, I was in the big leagues with the Blue Jays. And then 2024, I was in the big leagues with the Twins. And then me and the Twins, I was playing through a kind of a tough injury. I ended up having to get a PRP in my left knee and my right shoulder. And so I finally got cleared
Hmm.
from that in January of 2025. And I retired in March of 2025. So that's the quick rundown of the 17 years. But yeah, 8 years in the minors, being with the Cubs to start from 2008 up until 2013. And then 2013, I was with the Miami Marlins in their minor league system. 2014, I was with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the Milwaukee Brewers in their minor league system. 2014, yeah, and then 2015 I was with the Padres. So a couple teams here and there in the minors before I got to the big leagues, and then all over the place with the big leagues from Milwaukee to San Diego to San Francisco to Atlanta to Toronto, and then like I said, Japan, and then winter balls all over the place where I played in Mexico and Venezuela a few times as well too. So been all around this globe trying to play baseball and learn and enjoy the game as long as I can.
Dude, your passport's got stamps all over it, right?
Yeah, there's a few. There's quite a few in there. I had quite a few, and then it's kind of funny sometimes going through customs and stuff because they'll turn to it, and there's some pages that still have some of my visas and stuff on it from when I played because I would have to get a visa in different countries, and they'd be like,
Yeah.
"What?" And it's just funny watching because it's like they
Looking
think
at
that
you.
like I'm like doing something sketchy, but I'm just like, no, like it's just
They
it
give
is
you
what
the
it is.
side eye, right? Like, oh,
Yeah, right,
we need to like look into this guy. Step over here, sir.
right. So.
All right, dude. All of that's super interesting. But you know what I'm interested for is what was baseball like in Japan?
It was amazing. It was one of my best times, funnest times I've had ever in my life, realistically. Like I was talking before, I've been blessed enough that I think that the positivity and the smiles and the happiness and the attitude that I bring to teams kind of resonates through the teams. And I think it
Mm-hmm.
causes a lot of success that we do end up having on our teams. And when I was in Japan, I was
Yeah.
just, again, I was blessed that the team I was on, we ended up winning 3 championships for our league in the 3 years I was there, the first 3 years with the Hiroshima Carp, where
Let's go.
16, 17, 18, we won the championship and won the league. And it was the first time, and at that time, we had the longest streak of not winning a Central League championship. So we broke kind of a long losing streak, I would say, and changed that. And it was amazing just how they play baseball, the fundamentals of it, how they go to work, how they do stuff each day. I think the one thing that's a big difference is it's more quantity than quality, where over here it's more quality than quantity, right? Like they do reps until their hands bleed or until they finish the whole bucket of balls no matter what, where we're more focused on,
Mm-hmm.
okay, do 10 good swings. Okay, that's good. Do another 10 good swings. I think there's a combination where you can do both, but I think that was the main difference. But for me, playing over there, the fans were the best, just the people were so respectful. You kind of looked at like a superhero over there, I would say, compared to how baseball players are looked at over in America, where baseball is
Mm-hmm.
the number one or number two sport in Japan, where baseball, even though we make a lot of money, we do a lot of good things, we're on TV and stuff, we're always looked at behind, the basketball players and the football players for sure. But then now hockey's starting to
Yeah.
eclipse us to a certain degree and soccer players, and I understand all of it, but over there you're looked at as like the person. So it was nice to be kind of a little celebrity for a little bit as well.
Yeah. Now, do you speak fluent Japanese?
While I was over there, I got to learn a lot. I started speaking more. And then once I left and I started speaking Spanish and stuff again, coming home and just being not around as much Japanese speakers, I lost a lot of it. But I can still understand it when I hear certain places. I can understand a lot of words that are being said.
Man, out of all of the places like international, like you've said before our call, you said Egypt. That's definitely one of the places I'd love to go, and then Japan. Like I
Japan's awesome.
would do what?
Japan seems awesome.
I
It
know,
is.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've heard it's clean. The
So
people are
clean.
so much,
So clean.
yeah, so much different than it is here when it comes to the amount of respect. Like I feel like I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but do you sense a lot of entitlement over in the Japan area versus what you see here in the States?
No, not at all. It's not like I don't think it's an entitlement thing. I think everybody treats each other with respect. You can tell that they're taught as a culture to respect you to your face. Now, what they say about you when they leave and go behind closed doors is a whole nother thing. But at least to your face, they respect you and they do what they're supposed to do and things get done, right? It's really clean. Everybody takes pride in all that because they take pride in the community for I
Yeah.
guess a sense of purpose, right? But over here,
Yep.
I would say it's entitlement, but it's always watching what other people do. And I think we get so jealous of each other that instead of trying to necessarily work towards whatever that other person has that we might want, we'd rather try to take it from them because that's the easiest way to do it. And it's not just
Yeah,
in
or
Japan. I've
tear them
seen
down.
that exactly. And it's not just in Japan. I saw that in every other country I've played in, honestly. Like the first place I went to was Venezuela to play like outside of the US. And that was a whole different experience in itself. Just because of all the
Mm-hmm.
craziness that goes on down there. But then going to Mexico and playing, I played in Mexico for 4 years during the off seasons. And that was one of the main things I said when I came back every time was people in Mexico, if they see that you have something, I feel like other countries, and like I said, I learned it in Mexico and then I saw it in every other country. They try to work towards what they're trying to get from you. They're not necessarily trying to just take it from you or, like you said, tear you down to try to get it. They're like, okay, I'm going to have pride enough in it to go work for it and go do it. And it might hurt, it might be hot, it might be whatever else, but I'm going to go try to do this. Where, like you said, Americans to a certain degree and how we treat things here is like, there's always going to be enough, or I can just go get it from them and they can just go get another type of thing.
That's right. Or I'm gonna try to figure out the fast way of shortcutting things, and we don't take
Exactly.
pride in the actual process to get there. And that's
100%.
crazy. So, Jay, what position did you play, man?
I was okay. So, in professional baseball, I was a pitcher, but my whole career, I was an outfielder and played every other position but catcher. And so in college as well, the main reason we didn't talk about it earlier, but I grew up in Greenville, but I actually went to Furman University to play college baseball,
Okay.
which they don't have a
Yeah.
program anymore, which I'm a little upset about. And I've been in contact with them to hopefully try to bring that program back. And if they do bring it back, hopefully I'll be on that staff and be a part of that to, try to hopefully bring a College World Series to Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina eventually. That's the goal, right? But
Yeah.
um just man, I don't know. I played every position in college. I played outfield my freshman year. Ended up starting in outfield and then being the closer because our closer was hurt my freshman year. So I would close one game because he couldn't close all the games during the weekend because he was coming off surgery. And then I became
Hmm.
the midweek starter, and then I would play the outfield the whole weekend in college. And then my sophomore year, same thing. I played outfield, and then I was the Saturday night starter. And then my junior year, I went to play summer ball in the Great Lakes League for the Delaware Cows, and I ended up playing first base because our first baseman that we had ended up making too many errors, and they asked me if I had ever played infield, and I had in high school, and started taking ground balls over there. So I played first base for the Summer Collegiate League, first and
Wow.
third actually, because he one of the main reasons is because he made one big error when I ended up throwing a no hitter in the summer league. So they're like, hey, we can't just have you making these errors kind of thing. So I ended up being over there and I played first base and came back to school my junior year. And I ended up playing first, a little bit of outfield and pitching. And I was the Friday night guy my
Wow.
junior year. So played all over the place. Uh, just enjoyed playing every position realistically. I love playing the outfield more than I love pitching growing up. So when I had to make the choice, I had to make the choice at first between not playing baseball, basketball, and football in high school because my father asked me to make sure that I could do my academics. That I chose two sports. So I chose basketball and baseball. And then going to college, my coach actually made that decision for me, who was Ron Smith. And I love Ron to death. And if he ever watches this, shout out, Ron. Thank you for everything you've ever done for me. Um, but one of the reasons he got me to go to Furman is because he told me I was going to be able to play basketball at Furman too. So I was going to
Okay.
go to Furman and try to play basketball and baseball. And then after my freshman year of baseball, Coach Smith was like, well, we're not going to let you walk on the basketball team. We're going to keep you playing baseball and just focus on this and just see how far you can take it. And so my basketball dreams kind of got shattered after that, but it was a good thing, right? So lo and
Yeah.
behold, he let me play both positions as an outfielder, infielder, in pitching, and then got drafted as a pitcher. So
That's
played
crazy,
was
man.
a pitcher.
Like, just
Um,
go ahead.
so like you played all over, you played many positions, and you ended up having to close out and close the game out sometimes in college. And you ended up pitching in the MLB. Who was the hardest batter you've ever faced on the mound? Who challenged you the most?
Challenge me? I wouldn't. Okay, so there's differences. There's hard batters, and then there's guys who challenge you, right? So the guy that challenged me the most is a guy that was in Japan. He broke the league record for the season for foul balls. He literally would foul off every pitch. He would foul off almost like 3 or 4 pitches, maybe 5 pitches in at bat. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
So he broke the record for
Wow.
foul balls. And I think he was the most challenging hitter just because I would try to throw balls right down the middle. And instead of him like grounding out or, getting a hit, he would literally foul it off. I would throw a good pitch down, like back foot, like a strikeout pitch, foul it off. I'd throw a ball high, foul it off. And then eventually you either walked him because you would throw so many pitches just outside the zone, or
Yep.
he would foul off so many that eventually like he would make one close enough where he would get himself out, right? So he was the most challenging batter, the toughest batter, just because the numbers say it and because I just struggled with him so much, was Ramil Tapia. Um, just for some reason, I could get 2 strikes on him every time, just about. And I've said this so many times. I've faced so many different hitters over my career. I faced Adrian Gonzalez. I faced Ricky Weeks. I faced, Shohei. I faced Aaron Judge. I faced all these guys. But Tapia, for some reason, he's probably batting 1,000 against me. I think he's like 6 for 6 or 5 for 5 with like a home run, 2 doubles, maybe a triple. Like it's unbelievable. And like I said, I would have him 2 strikes and then somehow double in the gap. Or somehow the one time I threw him, I thought it was a good pitch and he hit a grand slam off me. I was just like, you know what? Like, I don't even know what else to throw him at this point. Like, I had him 2 strikes. He should have been beat.
All
I
right,
don't know what
you
I do.
just said some big names. You just said Otani. You faced Otani on the mound.
Aaron
I faced
Judge.
Otani. Yeah, I faced Otani a bunch of times. I faced him in Japan and I faced him here. We've had some
Mm.
battles. He's got me a few times. I've got him a few times. So I like to say that. He's got the most recent one, the last one that we ever faced off. He hit an Oppo home run off of me off of a slider that barely got out. Like 95% of the stadiums, it probably would have been a fly ball to left field. But Otani being Otani in the stadium we were at, it was just suiting that, he hit a home run off of me. So it's okay.
Dude, in the World Baseball Classic, what was it, a couple years ago, he hit a ball. I think he hit it with like one arm. He dropped to a knee or something, and he still took the ball out.
Yeah.
Like, it's
He's
just
insane.
insane. But I know.
No,
It,
he's a great player for sure.
well, dude, that's great stories to have for your grandkids. Like, man, that's awesome, dude. Uh, did you ever strike him out?
Otani? Yeah, I struck
Yeah,
Otani out before. I've gotten all of them. Like again, it's baseball. So for me, you win some, you lose some. Like
that's
most of
right.
the guys that have hit home runs off of me, I've struck them out. Most guys that I've struck out have probably got a hit off me or hit a home run off me at some not hit a home run off me, but they've got a hit off me at least some point. Because if we face each other enough, then just the law of
It's gonna
averages
happen.
start. Yeah, so Aaron Judge has hit a home run off me. I have one of the most famous home runs Aaron Judge has ever hit off of somebody just because of how talked about it was because it was the year. I don't know if people realize it or remember it. It keeps popping up on my feed because I commented on it. Um, at least I think like 6 months ago, I made a comment on it, and people still go through it and like it every now and then. But when I was playing for the Blue Jays, it was the at bat where Aaron Judge looked into the dugout. He said he looked into the dugout, but he was really looking at the first base coach to get the sign of me tipping my pitches and ended up hitting a home run off of me. So
I've
No.
that
seen
was
that
that was that
before.
that was me. Yeah, that was me. So
Wow.
there I've got footage of great stuff great and funny stuff all over the place.
That's awesome, man. Well, like man, that's I feel honored to have you here on the show, man. Like you just raised the bar and echelon there, man. Like that's good stuff, man. Well, look, I know you're here to talk about the Smile Academies and stuff, and so kind of give us an overview of what that kind of looks like. And I know Mariah's got some questions. I got more questions, but yeah, tell us about the Smile Academy and what you're working on.
Yeah, so the Smile Zone is my baby
Smile
now.
Zone. I'm
I
sorry.
coach. I coached right when I retired last year. Really, I retired 2 days before I was supposed to get on a flight to go play in the Mexican League for the summer, and I decided I was going to retire instead of going to play. And then that day, I walked into my PT's office, and he had another client in there, and was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about mentoring kids?" And I was like, well, I've been playing baseball for 17 years, past probably 10 years. I've probably been mentoring everybody at this point, right? So he's
Right.
like, no, I mean like high school, elementary, like middle school, college kids that are trying to be pros. He's like, because I have a son that he's pretty good at baseball, but he doesn't listen to me, which most kids don't listen to their parents, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he doesn't listen to his coach either. And I was like, okay, well, what would you want me to do? He's like, well, just talk to him, like give him some advice, steer him in the right direction, kind of thing. I was like, I could definitely see myself doing that. I was like, but I kind of want to enjoy my retirement right now. Like I was like, I just retired like an hour ago. Like I just want to go sit down on the beach and reflect on my career for a little because honestly, I still haven't truly reflected on my career. Like I've talked to people and been on these interviews and podcasts and different things, but I've truly never sat down and like gone through my career to just truly embrace it and enjoy it because this happened too where I jumped into this and so I started putting the curriculum together, putting how I could mentor kids and what's the best way for me to go about it, right? And I came up with a process and came up with the curriculum that I have because not only did I retire in 2025, I actually released my book
There
um
you go.
in 2024, in December 2024. So I wrote a book and released it. And so I built the curriculum around that. So built the curriculum and then I got asked to basically go into coaching and coach the West Virginia Black Bears, which is an MLB draft league team, which I'm thankful that I did because it gave me a chance to work on the curriculum and use it with the guys that I was coaching.
Right.
And hopefully the guys will all attest that them having these mental mindset stuff each week help them be better players, but also better people ultimately. And I think that me being able to beta test that and get the curriculum the way I wanted it to with the guys, we saw the results. We ended up having one of the best pitching staffs and best teams in the whole league, and we won the championship
Oh,
last year. So my first year of being a coach, got to win a championship as well. So
that's
ended up
Wow.
awesome.
doing that, beta tested it, and then thought about how can I get this, especially if I'm not going to coach or if somebody doesn't want me to coach necessarily. What's the best way I can get this curriculum and be a mentor for as many people as possible? Not
Right.
just like the kids that I might be coaching on the team, not just the kids that might be in my community, but what's the best way to make sure all the players and all the kids that are around, because 95% of them aren't going to play professional sports, but what's the best way to
Yep.
mentor these kids, get something in them to make sure that they stay positive and happy? If I can't get them the book and kids always have their phone with them. So I was like, let me create an app. So the Smile Zone ultimately has become, at first, it was a community of people that we were going to bring together that was going to include the curriculum. But now we've pivoted. And now that I know that the curriculum does work and that it is like a bona fide thing that can change people's lives, now we've made it where we're giving the Smile Zone a free community. So we want everybody to come join and be a part of it and talk and just have a support system and a large positive community. But if you buy the curriculum, you get access to our premium community. And the curriculum is $497 for the whole curriculum, and you can finish it as long as you want to. And it's 48 weeks. So it's a year-long curriculum if you want it to be, but you can do it as fast or slow as you want to. But there's 48 weeks. Each week is a different mindset thing. And at the end of each
Hmm.
week, you have a quiz to go through that you have to pass to go to the next week.
Mm.
And each week, like I said, with the mindset themes, yeah. With the mindset themes, you also get a lot of help with the social and emotional learning aspect of it to be a better person, be a better player, be a better leader, and all these things all in one in that lesson plan for the week. So that's what the Smile Zone is ultimately, is a curriculum to make players and athletes better people off the field, to so therefore they can be better on the field. And then also with the community aspect of it is bringing so many great people together to be positive supports and role models for the next generation of kids so they can be successful at whatever they want to do. Because also in the premium community, there'll be two calls each month, one for parents and one for the athletes that are involved in it as well. And also you'll get discounts on merch, like the jersey and like the shirts and stuff off the website. But also when we do camps and stuff in different cities, you'll get discounts to the camps. You'll also get discounts to private one-on-one mechanical lessons with each coach that you might have if you're in their city as well. But the main thing that's different from this compared to everything else, besides the curriculum that's built out by me, a former major leaguer that can honestly say that this thing works because I've tried it with guys and I know it's what helped me ultimately get to the big leagues, is you can have
Hmm.
your own personal mentor in the app as well. So I have four other former MLB players that are all willing to be mentors and give their time and give their energy to the next generation of kids. And so you can pay for talking to these guys for however many hours you want to, but each hour is a certain amount. And then you get your own mentor and get to follow them, and they get to talk to you as much as you want or as little as you want. And they're going to be in the premium community giving their advice, but also in the premium community, we're going to have former D1, D2, and D3 players that are now in different avenues of life, such as like life insurance, NIL, different respectable careers, to come in and
Hmm.
talk and be part of it as well. So the Smile Zone is a curriculum, but ultimately it's going to be a bigger community where we were talking before. I wanted to start here, but ultimately have it in different places around the globe. Like we were saying earlier, I've been to Taiwan, been to Egypt. I've gotten asked to possibly go to Africa. I've gotten asked to possibly go to Prague and possibly France as well. So if I can go to all these places and have a European Smile Zone Academy where I have former big league players going in there using the curriculum to help kids mentally on the field and off the field, but also those guys are going and giving their baseball knowledge and baseball expertise in the mechanical setting as well. That's the ultimate goal, is to have Smile Zone Academies everywhere where guys can work on mechanical stuff and the mental mindset stuff to make the complete players all over the world. So kids are just honestly leaving the academies better than where they came in.
That's, you know what? I wish more people thought about kids in that way, right? Too many times when kids show a little bit of talent, we focus more on get them in the cage or get them in the bullpen or push, push, push to get them to that next level. But we don't spend time talking about what's inside. Right. And
100%.
honestly, Mariah, you could probably attest to this. Like there's real pressure on kids today, whether it's, to make the team or through social media, seeing that this kid got selected for Select Fest and I didn't, or, just these unnecessary pressures that are put on kids today. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but kids are retiring from the game at too early of ages, man, 9, 10, 11, and it's not good.
It's worse than that. It's because the main reason and what we've been focused on lately is because our main target audience for the app and for the parents to use it too and the kids to use it is that 11, 12-year-old range to 17.
Hmm.
Because what we found out is not only in baseball, but all sports, 70% of kids are quitting at that age, which is unbelievable. And it's crazy to think about. And I feel like with the curriculum that I'm building and the app and the people that we're going to have around these kids, that they're going to stay in these sports. So it's not only keeping the kids in the sports longer, because that 12 to 17-year-old range is when you learn a lot of your life foundational lessons that you're going to take into college and
Yes.
take into your real life. And I think sports helps define those things. And the people around you that you have in sports helps you define those things because you learn a lot of life lessons through that. And so for me, having this curriculum and the people that we're going to put around these kids and just like the parents and everything else, I think is going to take a little bit of that pressure off of them and let them enjoy
Yeah.
their lives a little bit more, but also make better people and better kids so their parents don't have to worry about them as much. Their coaches don't have to worry about them as much. They can go do these things and understand who they are as a person to go better themselves, but also better the people around them. Like I said, ultimately to make this world a better place. And like I said, for
Dude.
me, the kids are the most important thing. And like you said, kids put so much pressure on themselves. Like they see talent in these guys that, like I was talking about earlier, I don't know if we're going to cut this out or not, but you're getting taught by a lot of guys that had similar talent but never got to that next level, that are trying to teach these kids and develop these kids, and now they're putting their
Hmm.
egos and their pressures on them as well, instead of these parents going to, not to toot my own home, but going to guys like me and former professionals, and then even coming to the camps that I'm having where I'm going to have Q&A for the parents and stuff too, that they're going to come to us and we're going to show them how to develop their kids the right way to make sure that they're going to be doing this for the right reasons. Because I see it in some of my lessons now and I see it all the time. When kids have, negative things happen, they normally crumble or like, I'm not good enough to do this anymore. And then they
That's right.
stop. Whereas if you love it and you're enjoying the game, you're going to understand that the bad things and they're going to happen. I just have to go through it because there's good stuff on the outcome because it's what I love to do. There's going to be bad with the good. And like I said, ultimately, that's what I'm trying to do with the curriculum, but also with me running private lessons. I want to read this message to you that I actually got from one of the kids that I just, because I wasn't going to do private lessons at first. I
Mhm.
was trying to stay away from it just because I see all the guys that are doing private lessons, and I don't want to step on toes when I know that these guys are doing it with the numbers and the hit tracks and the Rapsodos and stuff like that. And those are
Oh, yeah.
important. But how you get there and how each person's body moves is completely the best part because they're going to develop differently. And as they get older, they need to be comfortable, right? But uh, the I got this from one of the kids' parents. He said, "Hey, Jay, I just wanted to say thank you. The boys obviously loved the lesson today. They've been to a lot of private lessons that are serious, numbers driven, and all business. I probably even forgot how important it is to laugh and smile and enjoy the process in the game. The videos I have of you guys laughing during the private lesson is amazing." Like, that's all, like, but
That's
parents would rather,
man.
Um,
that's what it's for. But then parents, like I said, would rather go to these other guys and be like, oh well, his numbers are getting higher and stuff like that. But then the kid hates baseball. That's why all the camps I have run, and I'm having my camp in Greenville, South Carolina, September 12th and 13th. But all the camps I have had, everybody's had a great time because we have fun there. Like, kids develop, but we have fun because we want to make sure these kids stay in the game and that they stay with these people around them and that we're able to support them and love them and make sure that they're going to do this for the right reasons and not that they're doing it just so they can try to make money or try to beat their friend and throw harder and then they blow out and have an injury and now they're upset because they got injured for the wrong reasons. Where I've had so many injuries in my career, the only reason I came back from those injuries is because I knew why I wanted to play. It wasn't just because I was trying to spin a ball harder, compete, or just make money for my family. It was I loved the game of baseball and I was doing something that truly made me happy.
You said a lot of stuff there, Mariah. I know you got questions. Just give me a second. Like, having parents go through those type of things as well. Sometimes pressure is not intentional. I'll say that, not intentional from the parents, but sometimes the parents just don't know the right answers, and so their only lifeline to find an answer is to grab another parent who may be going through the same thing, right? And so therefore bad influences other parents. And so I said parents is like, I'm not even gonna cut that out. I'm gonna leave that in there just for everybody to laugh at me on that one. But that's the key right there, man. Is bringing the kid along the journey and the parents with them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
And the
I feel I feel
you go ahead,
like
Mariah.
if you have a negative mindset and you're playing a sport that you love, if you have a negative mindset, you're gonna crumble under like pressure, advice people give back to you. And if you have a negative mindset, you're not gonna be able to do what your full potential can do. But like if you have a positive mindset and want to work through things and really like smile through the journey, that's what Smile Zone is. Like you're smiling through the journey, having fun. If you really try and do that, like you're gonna go as far as you can. So that's why you just always have to have a positive mindset and just like go through things step by step and stay on your journey. Yeah.
well, I mean, I
Yeah,
can just
100%.
tell you. I mean, we're similar in age. You're not as old as I am, Jay, but life is a lot like the game, right?
100%.
You're gonna fail more times than you succeed, and it's your ability to come back from that with a purpose. And too many kids today are given the easy option of quitting and not following through with the things that they wanted. And I think that is just so important when it comes to teaching these kids just to be good people. And like, because life is going to happen in or out of the big leagues, right?
No,
It's going to happen.
100%.
So now,
100%. And
what's
that's
SMILE is an
that's the thing.
acronym, right?
Yeah. So SMILE is an acronym. SMILE stands for Start Making Intentional Life Efforts. So it's a great acronym just for the simple fact that I was thinking when I was writing the book, like I said, not to plug it again, but the book,
Yeah, do
like
it.
Mariah said, positive mindset. This is what this book is all about. It looks like it's a baseball book, but it's not. It's actually a positive mindset self-help book. It's the cool thing about this book is I you get a lot of me in it just from what I was going through in that year and how I was able to bounce back from everything I was going through. But also, like I said, the cool thing about this is it's not just chapters. Every chapter is an inning as well. So like it's kind of cool,
Oh, that's
right?
cool.
So
Yeah.
cool. 9 innings.
I
So
like that.
there's 9 innings. and
Wow.
there's a bunch of life lessons, and everything follows, just trying to be better at life. Like I said, keeping a positive mindset. Just again, you get to hear some stories that I've gone through that we were talking about before, where my son was born at 24 weeks, and it was in the middle of a season where I literally got called up, and I was getting called up the day and night he was born. We had an extra inning game, and we didn't finish the game, and I didn't pitch, and I was the closer on that team, and I didn't pitch, and we won 11 innings and ended up losing. So I was already pissed. I hadn't been pitching well, and then come to find out after the game at like 11 o'clock that I'm getting called up to the big leagues, and I was like, "Well, are you sure? Because I've been pitching like crap, and blah blah." But he's like, yeah, you're getting called up. It's not important that you've been pitching, but we've seen the efforts you've been making and how you've been playing and the things you've been doing.
Hmm.
The you know the results will come. So just keep doing what you're doing. And so I was like, okay, go to the hotel. It's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at this point. They told me to be on high alert that JR might be coming, but I didn't think that, like, again, he's been in there for 24 weeks. Like, you still have another 16 to go, pretty much, Chief. So,
Right.
like, I didn't think that anything was coming. Then 2 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call, 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, so JR, they're pulling JR right now. I'm like, oh God. And so you get to hear kind of that story of how I got through that and the season that I had from that. You get to hear kind of the story of how I tore my hamstring and had to pitch through that kind of, and then had surgery, and they took half my hamstring out, and I've still been able to play.
Mm.
There's a lot of different things that you learn through baseball, to learn through life, and I'm trying to give that back. And like I said, you keep a positive mindset through it, right? Like Mariah was saying, if I would have been negative through any of those points, I don't think I'd still be sitting here. I would have never got to that year 17 mark.
Yeah, even right now while I'm going through my concussion, I just have to stay strong. And even if like things that I don't want to happen to me, like through my concussion, it's just little steps that are put in wait, hold on, let's rabbit that. I got my words mixed up.
It's okay.
Perfect.
Even with my concussion, like there are things that have been put in my way, like blocks or just different little things that I don't like because they might not be going the way that I would like them to. And I haven't been able to play baseball or softball right now due to my concussion, but it's just like it's all part of those little steps that I have to take to get to where I want to be. It's all part of the journey, and I know that if I just keep pushing and keep up with my positive mindset, that someday I will get to where I want to be, and being able to bounce back from this is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
100%.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I like to like use the analogy, two different ones. They're both, one of them's in the book, is you always want to turn lemons into lemonade. That's
Hmm.
number one. That's one big one, right? But the other one that I try to live by is you take your life as if it's a car and you're the driver of the car. You can allow everybody in and everything like that. And everything that happens to you outside the car, like your concussion, like my injuries, like anything that happens, it can be either a speed bump for your car, or it can be a roadblock and a wall where you crash into it, right? Or that speed bump that you have can turn into you driving off a cliff or something like that as well. Because you once one negative thing happens, then you spiral and another negative thing happens. Instead of you having that bump in the road, that speed bump happening, or that pothole happening, you just go to the mechanic and get it fixed. That's you keeping your positive mindset instead of it being negative. Oh, well, this happened, now this is going to happen, now this is going to happen, now I'm not going to be able to do this, and that starts spiraling, and then your world crashes out in front of you. Instead of, like you said, keeping a positive mindset, knowing that this is a speed bump and that it's just a step in your way to get to what you want to ultimately do on your goals.
Yeah.
Well, and through all of those challenges, you get stronger. I mean,
100%.
you do. You come out with some scars, but those scars have stories, and even though they may not be your best stories, they may help someone else along the way. And
Exactly.
that I think that's the thing that I take away is just like, man, every speed bump, that's just another lesson that you had to learn through right there. So
Exactly.
anyway, Mariah, I know I'm going to keep talking if you don't shut me up. So go ahead and fire away.
Okay, so you've been through the MLB for 17 years. You've been to Japan, a bunch of different places, and now you're at a point where you made Smile Zone. You're helping kids today have a positive mindset and work through tough times through baseball and other things. So, what would you say the biggest takeaway is through Smile Zone, and what what main what thing does like it help kids the most with? What does it help kids the most with?
I think the main thing that kids need to take from this is that you're going to be a better person. You're going to
Mm,
be who you want to be. You're going to find out what you truly love to do and who you are through this. I think the whole thing with Smile Zones, like I said, start making intentional life efforts, but it's about being positive and making sure your life is positive at all times. So you're going to learn how to find what makes you happy, who you are, what's going to be, your ultimate goal. If it's not baseball, you're going to have people there that are just going to support you with whatever it is. We know that a lot of these kids and a lot of players might not be baseball players, but as long as you're enjoying the game and you're part of it and you know how to take not just resiliency, but take your life and enjoy it and not take this sport as a negative and take things negatively, then that's the ultimate goal for us, is to make sure you're enjoying your life to be the best version of yourself that you can be. So I think with this curriculum, and not only the curriculum, but the community that's there for you, the ultimate goal is for every kid to be the best version of themselves. And I think that's what happens. And I think that's honestly from what I've seen the guys that I've coached with and that have used it. And the fact that they still communicate with me to this day and ask me questions and come back to me and ask me different things. I still get a bunch of them calling me now and sending me messages now saying that they've gotten drafted. I think 90% of the kids I had last year got drafted too. And they all got a copy of the book. And I get messages all the time saying either drafted or signed. And I get messages from all the time now saying, "Hey, I got my book with me. I'm reading it. It's actually helping me, as I've gotten drafted, getting through these different things." And I told them to keep it with them because once you read it once, you can always find something in it, good, bad, happy, sad, mad, glad, whatever. You'll find something that can help you in that moment. And I think that's the best thing about the book that obviously kids get and parents get with signing up and buying the curriculum. You get the book and you get the student workbook. And if parents want, they can also get a copy of the adult coaches workbook as well. But like you said, going back to what's the main thing kids get out of it, they get to learn who they are and be the best versions of themselves. Simple enough as that. I think that leads to them being ultimately happier and going out and being more positive for the community and for everybody around them.
Being
that's
themselves too.
priceless. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
like, that's awesome. Well, look, so you're in Utah now. You're doing trainings. Like, you're starting to spend or been spending time with kids. What are you learning from kids, Jay?
I I've the thing I've learned over this process, honestly, is it's not the kids a lot of times, it's the parents and the adults in it, right? That's what I've
Mm,
learned a lot of times. And if the parents and adults want their kids to be happy, then they take them to where they're happy. And I think they treat it as such. But what I've learned from the kids themselves is they do need to have more fun. And I think that's what I've realized with the kids I've worked with, because they're coming to me, a lot of them, and I think they're coming to me because especially like I was talking about before, I get more love in other places than I do at home. And people at home should know my resume more than people everywhere else because I'm
right.
trying to go there and help them. But I've realized that they want to go to other people. And like I was talking about before, not to toot my own horn, but there's like maybe two people in all of upstate South Carolina that have done as much as I have and understand the game as much as I do, and that can give back to these kids and help them as much as I can. But I've realized that too many people worry about these numbers and put too much pressure on these kids to reach these numbers instead of them enjoying it. Like I said, I read the message earlier. Once you realize like having fun brings out and being happy brings out the best in you, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. And honestly, there's so many kids out there right now that are only playing the game to make their parents happy. And they're putting away their happiness for the sake of, someone else's. And honestly, I think kids need to realize that at the end of the day, we're still just playing a game. And like you've got to have fun. I mean, baseball's not an easy game, and I say it all the time, but like when it gets hard, you better love it, or else you won't last long. And but that's life though, right? When you wake up in the morning and you
Yeah.
go to your 9 to 5 job, I hope you like your job. If not, you're probably not going to last too long. So anyway, go ahead, Mariah. What you got?
You fail more than you succeed in baseball too. Um, yeah, baseball is a game of failure. So even if you don't play baseball or softball to like college, high school, even in professional, like you can still take away a lot from reading Smile Zone or getting on the app, doing a lot of things like young to help you just build up your confidence and stay positive through tough times. It'll help you a lot. But there's many kids who would like to go to the MLB or the WPBL, AUSL, all these different sports. How does Smile Zone help those kids get to where they want to be someday?
Well, mainly it's with the mentors that we'll have because you're going to get maybe that bridge of a gap that you might have your analytics guy, your data guy, but now you have your mentor too to be a support system to help you never have a ceiling on what you're trying to accomplish. Because realistically, you can be the best coach in the world, but if you don't have the experience at the highest level, you can still only teach somebody so much. And so for me, having the coaches that we have, if kids want to be in, these leagues, most of our coaches have played in almost every league. All of our coaches have at least 10 plus years in professional baseball, maybe not 10 in major league baseball, but at least 10 plus in professional baseball. So we've been all over the place. We can give you that guidance and support and help to let you know what you need to work on to get to that next level and help you truly ascend to that next level because not only are the numbers going to matter, but there's going to be everything outside the numbers to that matter. Because just because you have those numbers doesn't mean there's not 100 other kids that have those same numbers and those same metrics. So what's going to help you stand out and having somebody like us and having something like the Smile Zone might be that little bit of an edge that gets you past that other kid. Maybe there's a kid that, might be going D1 that, you know, doesn't use the Smile Zone, but there's another kid that uses the Smile Zone, and just the little mental edge that we have with the things that we have on the app, from baseball IQ stuff, mindset, locker room stuff. Like I said, the different people that we have chiming in to give advice. That other kid that uses the Smile Zone might be a coach's pick just because they know the situations. They could have the same talents, but knowing the different mental aspects of the game is going to help you not only play more, enjoy the game more, but it's going to help you succeed and be a team player more because you're going to understand the dynamics of what you need to accomplish and knowing who you are in that scheme of the team as well.
Well, you said several times help you be the best version of yourself. Well, sometimes being a better person raises your character level, right? And I was never drafted, Jay, so you have to give me your feedback here. But I would imagine for scouts, your talent is probably about as equal as your character and what they're wanting to bring into the locker room. Is that the case, you think?
It's probably more. They do a lot of digging, especially you see it with the first round guys in every sport, but especially in baseball when there's only so many spots and there's so many guys that they try to that are playing baseball every year, right? I think your character and how you can fit into a team and how you fit into an organization means so much. And I think honestly, I can say that I feel like I've tried to keep a good reputation, have a good character my whole career. And I think that's what helped me stay playing professional baseball for as long as I did. And honestly, that's why I have the coaches with me, under me in this app, and that are mentors as well. Because again, I don't think you could play 10 years in professional baseball if you don't have a good character and you're not a good person, right? Because a lot of these baseball
Mm-hmm.
careers end after 1 or 2 years. There's always somebody else coming in. So the fact that all my coaches have literally played professional baseball for 10 plus years should tell people that like the character that we have and the character that we're trying to instill in these kids and the parents in the community that we have around us is going to be some of the best because we're worried about the development of the kids and the betterment of the kids to be the best people, like you said before, that they can be so they can ultimately take care of us and have us not worry about as much negativity as we have to kind of drive through right now.
That's that's profound. right? Like that's big picture type of stuff. You know, I started the show, Jay, very similar, and hearing you talk is kids were on their phones, right? And I wanted to find a way. Listen, if you're going to be on the phone, I want to at least give you something positive, right? I want to give you something a little bit fun, something positive, a little bit educational, so you can use your phone, but hopefully use it as in a benefit to yourself. And that's pretty awesome, man. All right, Mariah, what's the
Yeah.
last couple questions you got here, and then we're going to hit him with our big last question that's going to stump him, I think.
It stumps everybody.
I know it. I know it. Let's not scare him too
Yeah.
much. He might want to leave. So,
Yeah, we gotta calm down.
what you got, Mariah?
So Smile Zone was created in 2025, but you've played baseball like your whole life. How has maybe your previous years of experience in baseball affected where you are today for Smile Zone, and how has it helped you grow?
I think like we were talking about earlier with Coach Aaron, like everything that we do kind of helps you grow. You take it as a speed bump. Every speed bump I've had, used it as an opportunity to either teach somebody around me not to do the same thing or teach myself how to learn from it and be better. Like I said, I could have taken a lot of these things and crashed out and flew off a cliff, but instead I've tried to use these things to have a positive mindset and give back. And I think that's what's everything that's happened to me to be positive through everything that I've honestly been through in my life to get to this point is I'm giving back to the kids, and I think giving back to the community and giving back to the people around me. And I think that the people around me ultimately can say that they feel hopefully that I've left a positive impact and left them with smiles. And I think that's what I've given back to, and how this is created is ultimately with the positive mindset of how can I make sure not only myself, but the people around me and the kids around me and the next generation of kids, since we've made it so fashionable to say crashing out now, how can we make it where instead of crashing out, kids are creating a positive snowball of effects instead of a negative snowball of effects? And I think that's just kind of how, like, my career and realizing my career and realizing how important the mental game of it was. That's how the Smile Zone and the curriculum came about. But also, I think one of the big reasons, honestly, one of the big reasons is realizing how many coaches now are being able to get hired and be coaches without the requisite like expertise that you should have to coach guys at this level. And that's no credit. That's no, like I said before, there's no discredit and no love lost to them. But when I see, and I've been coached by guys that have never played in the big leagues, that have never played minor league baseball, and then they're telling me what to do when they've never been in these situations to understand how the body feels or how long these years are or how the season goes or what's going on, it's tough. And so I wanted to make sure that other guys didn't feel that same way I did with their coaches at all levels, because that can make them be negative and then leave the game negative and turn a positive of being in baseball or being in college or being in the professionals or being in the big leagues into something negative, and then they leave the game with a negative attitude instead of enjoying the game and knowing who they are and having a positive experience and being grateful just for life itself, but grateful for the opportunity to be out there and do something that they should be loving to do and not letting somebody else take their joy away from it because they don't know what they're talking about.
I love it. That's a good point right there. Like, live it, and you've got life experiences to back up. What you're talking about, and I like the driving analogy, right? Because speed
Yeah.
bump doesn't mean you're not still headed in the same direction as where you're
Mhm.
going, right? It just says slow down. Sometimes there's a detour. Sometimes you got to take a different route to the place you want to go, right? There's stop signs that, all of those different. I like that. That's a good analogy. We're going to start using the driving analogy. I like that.
I
Yeah, I
appreciate it.
like it too.
Yeah. Jay, what's your highlight moment of your career, right? Like, what's that one, or do you have like one moment
I've
that
got
kind of
so
sticks out to you?
many. I've gotten so many just from me playing in so many different countries. I have them in different, I think one different countries. I have different highlights, but also different stages of my life too. I have different highlights because I knew I was thinking about baseball in my life differently as well. I think,
Hmm.
you know, one of the main highlights I would say was winning the first championship that we did in Japan, just because of how awestruck I was, and just because that was my first season being in Japan and being part of that team. And that was one of the highlights was clinching the league championship at our opponent's field and then seeing how many fans that we had that came to travel to watch us. That was one of the biggest highlights that I had. And then also JR being born that day and then me still going and pitching that afternoon where like I said I got called up for the game and it was a double header that day and we were in Chicago and I was flying from New York to
Mm.
Chicago and the whole morning the team was calling me asking me if I was really going to pitch, if I was going to stay, et cetera, right? So get to the game and I don't pitch in the first game of the double header because I was like at least if I pitch in the first game I can make it to Utah and catch a flight and be there for
Yep.
JR and Sam and everybody, right? But don't pitch in the first game, so end up pitching in the second game and like I said, it's all blessings, and you try to take the positives out of all of it instead of, and again, could have taken it as a negative that I didn't pitch in the first game and been pissed off, but try to turn it into a positive and end up getting the win in that second game. So JR's birthday, technically, I have a win in the big leagues, and I actually have the lineup card up here signed by all
Wow.
my teammates in my office down here. So his official birthday, the day he was born, even though it was born early, I got a win in the big leagues, and then I got to see him after. So those are my two main highlights. But just in life with
Dude, I got
baseball, I
cold
think being,
chills.
but
Like that's
I
good.
think just in,
Woo.
I
That's
think
so
just in
cool.
right? Like that was one of my favorite moments. But I think in life with baseball, being drafted is a highlight, even though I didn't take it as such because I didn't get drafted when I was supposed to, and I didn't even know I actually got drafted. It's actually a story in the book as well, and I'm gonna make sure I get you both copies of the book as well. But being
Yes.
drafted, and then like I was talking about earlier, tearing my hamstring and pitching in the game still, and then having surgery and finding out how bad it was, and making it back to the big leagues and being on that team for the Giants in 2021. And I think that was the last time the Giants won the NL West. So, that's one of my highlights as well. So,
You're a good luck charm, man.
Awesome.
I, I, I don't like, again, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I've been part of a lot of successful winning teams and I've been part of a lot of teams that have made the playoffs. And I think, like I said, I think it's a testament to the positivity and the atmosphere and the culture that I do help create. But I'd like to say this as well, it's baffling to me that no other teams want to hire me when obviously the resume says that I do win a lot of games and I help people develop and they're better around me. So it's just funny that I haven't got hired yet.
You know, that's just part of the journey, dude.
Yeah.
Just like we're saying, man. Somebody's going to watch this show right here and be blown away from you, and you're going to get that call. I feel like, I
Oh,
hope, I hope.
that'd be great. That'd be great. Or like I said, we just make the Smile Zone the biggest community, most positive community of all time where I can just go and help more organizations so they can call me just to come talk to their kids. And therefore I can do that instead. So therefore I can help more people and more organizations ultimately as well. So either way, however I can be of service and usefulness to the grand scheme of baseball, but also the grand scheme of making more people enjoy their lives and be happy, I'm cool with that. That's why, like I said before, I've been to Taiwan twice and Egypt already. They keep asking me to come back to Taiwan because I feel like I've made an impact enough over there where people have enjoyed my presence. And I feel like I've done that in a lot of places, but I'm not going to go force myself into places. I'm going to go where people want me to be and enjoy my presence as well.
Dude, one of the things that I've always, tried to tell myself is I'm going to leave a legacy behind. Whether that legacy, was my big dream, or as long as that legacy is where I've impacted kids and I've been able to help kids enjoy, whether it's the game itself or learn skills to better help them in their life. Like that's what I want to do, man. And I feel like you and I are on similar journeys. Obviously, our journeys have went completely different directions, but somehow came back connected. And I
Yeah,
feel like man, we can make a difference in this world, man, one kid at a time.
Being
So
100%. I
kind,
definitely,
being kind, happy, and a good person is like all you can ask for really in life. Just being the best version of yourself.
I agree.
exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. I
Mariah,
completely agree.
I feel like you're on the right path, Mariah. I think
100%.
you need to
You're
sign
right
up.
there. You're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
So
yeah.
all right, Mariah, we're at the end here, and we can't let Jay go until we hit him with this question. And I'm gonna let you set it up, okay?
Okay. All right. So it's the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases loaded. What is your walk-up song?
Oh,
I know it's a hard question.
No, it's actually
I
not as hard as
love
I
the
thought
body
because I have two.
language.
I have two off the top of my head, but I would go with either "Sticky" by Drake or "Neon Guts" by Lil Uzi Vert. But the new Drake album and how he's been on that, there's a couple of them. I think one of them that I would have to go like more recently would have to probably be Little Birdie would probably be there because I think it would get me amped up for that position in that spot. But I've been in those. I haven't been in bottom. I've been in bottom ninth a couple times in the same situations, but I've had some walk up songs and I faced a lot of hitters in different situations in the same kind of thing. I think I faced Harrison Bader with two outs, and I came in the game with
Okay.
him up to bat, and I had to face him bases loaded with two outs, and we were, I think, up or down by like 2 runs or something like that. So, you just have to feel it. Those are my two songs. I think "Sticky" and "Neon Guts" are my two songs that I think would get me right.
All right. We got a lot of Drake fans
I like
been
Drake.
on the show. I just I grew up I grew up in like 90s, hip hop and like I I struggle to like today's hip hop rap world. But I don't know. Jake,
There's a lot.
I'm gonna have to go listen to this new Drake album because I've heard a lot of
There's
people
three of
bragging
them.
on it. So
There's three. He
that
dropped
is
three
right. I
all at
did
once.
see.
He dropped three all at once. Yeah.
I've only I've only listened to Iceman. Yeah, I've only listened to
Yeah.
Iceman. It's
They're
pretty
all
good though.
three really good.
Does he
They're
got
all
any diss
different.
songs? Does he got any good
Iceman
diss
is
songs
all
on there about?
Ice yeah, Iceman is all disses, and then the other two albums
Yeah.
are actually more like club and then like more R&B type albums. So he gave something for everybody.
Okay.
He did
Did,
like LeBron too.
Yeah, he just LeBron
really?
heavy on it. Yeah, he just LeBron on that for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now I
But
might have to
I think it
listen
was
then.
well deserved though. The LeBron diss, even though I'm a LeBron fan and I'm a Drake fan, the LeBron diss was well warranted. Drake deserved to give that shot off to LeBron because LeBron should have never been at the pop out and he should have never been rocking to the Kendrick song as much as he was. If he's one of Drake's
Yeah.
fans, that's what I co-sign. If he's not a friend of Drake, like he said that he has been his whole life, then he can go do that and nobody's gonna care. But for your friend to go to your enemies, diss about you and then rock to that diss for as long as he did, you deserve to get a couple shots at you after that. Like loyalty is
For
very
sure.
rare and it's the most expensive commodity that we have. Loyalty is very
Ooh,
rare.
that's deep. You're not a Kendrick fan,
I rock I
Jay?
rock with Kendrick. I like some of his stuff. I don't like that he had to go where he went to in the battle to try to win the battle. For me, I think the if you go just based off of bars and the music, I honestly think Drake had better songs, but I think Kendrick won the battle just because of the popularity and the songs and all this stuff. But if it comes out that the stuff that Kendrick was saying was, I mean, obviously it's come out that it's not true, but if you have to win a battle off that, then that's okay. Like I feel like in rap battles, if anything goes and and that's how you're gonna go, then that's fine if that's what you want to do to win a battle. But I'm still a Drake fan. I've been rocking with Drake the whole time. I was hoping when I played for the Blue Jays that I would get a chance to meet Drake. I met a couple guys, I think, from his crew when I was out, like having dinner a couple times here and there. And I met a couple guys from the weekend's crew too while I was in Toronto, the little bit I was.
Okay.
But I'm definitely a huge Drake fan. If I ever, that's one thing that I'm trying to do is get Drake, hopefully, when I build this thing out to come visit one of the academies or do something for, if we have a Canadian Smile Zone Academy that he can be a part of it, or do something like that. Have Drake at one of the celebrity golf tournaments that we're gonna do, or something like that, or have him at the gala or something like that. That's gonna be one of the things I'm gonna try to put in the universe to have work.
There you go.
Manifest. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Well, I
100%.
know if there's a gala, Mariah, you need to get your outfit. I'll get mine ready. We'll show up in that gala.
I hope so. You
We'll show
better.
up with
I'm
a big
hoping to
old
do it in
smile.
South Carolina. I'm hoping to do it in Greenville. That's if Greenville loves me and wants me home to do the gala, do the Smile Zone Gala. I would love to do it there because then I could use Furman's
Well,
golf course for the celebrity golf tournament. So it'd be nice. So showing love
There
and
we go.
support to the people that loved and supported me as well. So like I said, I'll always be Greenville will always be home, even though, like I said, it feels at times that like it doesn't love me. It will always be home. I'll always want to be there and help as much as I can. But same point, like I said before, I'm gonna for sure always go where I'm wanted and celebrated more than where I feel like I have to push myself in.
I'm right there with you, man. You and I both share similar beliefs, and hometown don't always love us, but you know what? There's other people that do. So we'll spend our energy with those people.
Exactly.
So, well, awesome, man. Well, look, I am so glad we got this interview done finally, and
Yeah.
man, I feel very fortunate to have met you and connected with you, because I feel like you're a good influence on me, and as well as the kids on our show. And man, it's been great getting to know you a little bit more, man.
It's been
Well, I
awesome. I
appreciate it.
feel like I've learned so much more just having this call on how to be as a person and like what maybe I could do differently to help me be a better athlete.
There
Appreciate it.
you
No,
go.
that's the goal. Like I said, that's the goal of Smile Zone. That's the goal of what I'm trying to do for the next generation and everybody that's playing baseball or playing any other sports. Because ultimately, like I said, we're going to branch this curriculum out into other sports. But for everybody that wants to be a part of it and signs up for it, know that the goal is to make sure that you're going to be the best version of yourself and that you're going to be happy doing whatever you're doing. And like Mariah said, that's the goal, is to make sure that you learn how to do that and be happy.
Awesome. Well, look, tell everybody where they can go find out more about the Smile Zone, and how do they go get signed up?
Yeah, 100%. So everybody can follow me on Instagram at Jaxland58, JAXLAND 58. But you can catch me on my personal website at realjjackson.com. And also on the app, you can catch us at smilezone.app. Follow us on smile_zone app for IG. But mainly you can catch me with all the updates and everything possible on Jackson 58. And also on the website we have a mindset guide, a free mindset guide, a free weekly newsletter, and you get the book for free. All you have to do is pay for shipping. So go to therealjjackson.com, go check it out, go get all your needs. And like I said, also we'll be having a camp in Greenville, South Carolina at Wade Hampton Little League, Boiling Springs Park, September 12th and 13th. Would love for everybody to come join me there. But mainly catch me on the Smile Zone app, smilezone.app, and everywhere else that I can be useful for you. I'm here to help and be of service as much as I can. If you need anything from me, anybody can DM me. I'm able to work for camps. I do private lessons as well. So just reach out if I can be of help.
Jay, I want to thank you very much for being on the show. I thank you very much for being on the show. Mariah, how can we find you on social media?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at MyCheckMariah.
There we go. Go follow her, because you can tell by listening in this episode how intelligent she is, and you're a baller. So like, you're the total package, Mariah. And you skateboard, you like music, like you're just an all-around great person. I love you to death, Mariah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first ever sport that I did.
Okay. Hey, I'm glad that you're a skateboarder.
Yeah,
Skateboarding was not my forte.
She's well-rounded. Make sure you go follow the Slide Podcast everywhere. X, TikTok, YouTube. Hey, we hit 125,000 views on our YouTube channel, Mariah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're going to be over 135,000 after today, I believe. So huge jumps. And go follow us everywhere. And if you know any kids out there that need to come on the show, you got a great story to tell, or if they just want to tell us how much they love the game, send them our way. We want to bring them on the show. All right, Mariah, close us out.
All right, Jay, until next time.
We'll catch you on the slide.